Today I want to share about something the Lord said to me during the week or during the weekend. And this was also prompted by a conversation I had with a friend yesterday. It was about this other friend of mine, or I would say someone close to me, in which is slowly straying away from the faith. And they're still young, and one can also put that on being young and ignorant. But this is a concern because this was someone who once had nothing but love and passion for the Lord. They pursued, they had zeal, they had desire to serve God and to serve this generation. However, that has been slowly fading away, and as a result, it's very concerning to me because that's a brother in the faith. And what I had done, I thought speaking to them and actually, listening to them and trying to give healthy counsel would be helpful. However, after having those countless conversations, they are still on the path in which they have decided to initially be on in the first place. Nothing seems to work. And I was at a point where I was saying, I did my best, I'm tired, I can only say much, I can only do much. This person is choosing their own path, they're grown enough, and that's fine with me. I did my part. Lord, you know I did my part. And it was through a passive conversation I was having with another friend of mine. We were just talking about how God has been faithful, but also how we should continuously seek those who are lost, those who are friends or those who are family members or those who were once in the faith. We must concern ourselves with people who, drift away from the Lord or become lukewarm through this journey of faith, or they just leave the faith in general. Those people, we can't just say, they were tired. What can we say? They just decided to leave. They're old enough. They can be left to their own decisions. I spoke to them. I gave them counsel, asked what was wrong, but it didn't work. Those people are old enough. What can we do? Because he induced a very interesting thing to say, when it's all said and done, when we have given counsel, when we have asked what's the issue, when we have dealt or when we've spoken about those things that are concerning to them, or when we have touched on those things that are ultimately leading them away from the faith, the last thing we can do and be fervent about is to pray for them. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, we should pray for them. In my mind, I knew what they were saying because I was having a conversation again with this other friend of mine, which I had spoken to him, I had given him counsel, I had listened to their issues. But one thing I didn't do before I decided to give up was to pray for them. And not just pray for them in a matter of praying for them because you are praying and, it's good that now and then you can just throw in their name. You can always throw in their name and pray for them. But that intentional, fervent prayer where you're saying, Lord, I'm going to just bring this person before you in prayer and literally plead that you intervene. I don't know what your will is with regards to the whole situation. I don't know if they are far gone enough, but I know, God, that you can save anyone, that your hand is not short. I don't know what your will is, even, Lord, with this person. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm praying and I'm asking you to literally intervene in this situation. And that actually convicted me, and I've been praying for this friend of mine, fervently so, intentionally so, to a point that I'm even willing to go on a fasting and prayer moment for them, just for God to just intervene. But ultimately, this doesn't necessarily mean they're going to change and all of a sudden they're going to come back. The decision still stays with them. However, I also believe that God is so sovereign enough that our decisions are always in the confinements of His sovereignty. Whatever we decide as men cannot be done outside of God's sovereignty. Free will is there, but free will is subjected to God's sovereignty. So even if the person might have their own convictions and, their own opinions and what they have decided to do in their own heart, my faith should stand on the fact that God is sovereign enough to override those decisions. That's what should keep me going in terms of prayer. So what am I saying? I'm saying even in your life, your family members who are not saved, you've been telling them about Jesus, but nothing seems to work. Or your church members, you've been preaching, you've been having camps, you have been having outreaches, trying to make them see the faithfulness of God, but they are not coming to a place in which you want them to come. The best thing you can do when you've tried everything else is to pray for them, is to genuinely bring them before the Lord and say, Lord, I am entrusting you with their souls. I don't know how the whole thing is going to end up. I'm just trusting you that you intervene in this moment because the words that I said are not enough. The counsel that I brought was not enough. even the compassion I showed at times is not enough. But Lord, I am just trusting you to come with your sovereignty and overtake every single thing in these people's lives. Because we have seen people who are genuinely saved, not because we preached to them, not because we gave them counsel, but because we were in a place of prayer and trusting God, and they ultimately got saved. And at times people don't even get saved because we were the ones who told them about Christ. They were saved because someone else told them about Christ, but God sent that person on behalf of the prayers that we were making. So at times it might seem as though there's no hope, and they don't want to accept Jesus. What can you do? But the best thing I can tell you to do is to pray for them, is to trust God with their lives. And the God we serve, one thing we know about him is that he's faithful, and he has the ability to save, and his hand is not short to reach any person, regardless of their sin, regardless of how deep in sin they are, how lost they are. God has the ability to save anyone and make them a vessel in his kingdom. So yeah, hope this encourages you to preach the gospel and pray for people to come to the faith. Grace and peace.